Crumple up a newspaper, add a little paint, and wood gets a brand new look. That's next as Furniture on the Mend continues on TLC.
All right, everything's been stripped, clean, stripped with the EPR, stripped with the chemical stripper, washed down, sanded, and primed 2 coats, black on the shelves and white on the pilasters. Notice I haven't put any paint over this end, the end that's going to be butted into the pilaster, because these pieces have to be glued together. And if you paint over it, then you're going to have glue attached to paint, and it's not going to adhere properly.
Looks like Boot Hill.
Yeah, well, one for you. What's your name on it, dear? Anyway, so we're going to sand now. I'm using 280 silicon carbide paper. Blackness. Everything has been sanded down, dusted off, and wiped with a tack rag. Right, little dollar, nice tack rag. So everything is clean now. What we're going to be using is
many brushes
and some string. These brushes here are actually for marbleizing. They're kind of expensive, but if you want to do the job, do it right. This brush is from England, I believe, and it's about an 8-inch brush with a 2-inch bristle, white hog hair. This one has a longer bristle. This, I believe, is a 4-inch bristle, and you can see how loose the bristles are. And that is for feathering the paint and for blurring the paint to lay your foundation down onto which you're going to place your different sinuous grains.
Ooh.
And this is also another brush. It's got separated bristles attached to the ferrule. This is used as a graining brush also, but you can also use this for feathering too. These are some throwaway brushes.
Don't throw them away yet.
And these are little 3/4-inch hair, red sable. And I like to do my graining with these. And you'll see when I do the actual graining, you can pull this with the paint or you can push with the paint.
Now, don't some people use feathers for that?
Some people use feathers. They like to use feathers. There are documentations of feathers as being the best thing, but I can never catch the turkey, so I like brushes. And it's amazing when you push this brush, the hairs become disjointed and they create nice patterns that you couldn't get from a feather. And these are some other brushes here, and this is some string.
Why?
You can use string. You can drag the string through the paint, pull the string over top of it, and create also a vein. That works sometimes, but this whole process is one of experimentation, and you really have to do it a little bit to get the feel of it. Thing is, just don't get worried about it. You know, if it doesn't look like it's going well, just paint over it and then start again.
What kind of colors are we using?
Now, the colors we're using, of course, we're going to have a black, white, and green veining going through our marbleized pieces. And this is some ivory color, which is also going to be the same color as the pilasters.
So that's going to create a visual echo.
But the ivory will be what we will use as our white. We're not going to use a stark white because we're creating kind of a serpentine marble, which is black, green, and white, in this case ivory. And over here we have a small patch of green.
Wait a minute, that was a Patty Chayefsky play, Playhouse 90, 1953, was it, truly?
1953, a small can of green, I think it was originally, but he changed it at the end to patch.
There's something about the blacklist.
Right. We got some paint thinner. These are oil paints, so they are soluble in paint thinner. Now, you can do this with latex if you want, but the latex has a tendency to dry too fast. So I like to keep the base that I'm working on, the foundation, and the actual process going for a while. And you can do that with oil paints because the mineral spirits is a slow evaporating solvent. Remember, we painted on or we primed with a flat black paint. This is an actual black semi-gloss. So this is the top coat, or the base, onto which we will marbleize. Try and get all the edges, front. You don't have to be too careful because you're going to be pushing and pulling all of this paint around.
This is an organic process, is it not, Professor?
It is.
Furniture on the Mend will return on TLC.
Return to an age when pharaohs ruled all they surveyed and great monuments dominated the landscape. Ancient Lives, Monday at 9 on the Learning Channel.
This is Mr. I have a degree in chips. This is Mr. Phipps. Cheese Miss Low Fat is my middle name. Hello. Mr. Phipps again. Mr. Oh, what's one more anyway? Mr. Phipps Tater Crisps. Mr. Everybody's can't get enough of a good thing snack.
I'm finished.
Take a t-shirt and make it a color point t-shirt.
Thanks, Mom.
New Color Point paint stitching, specially developed patterns and paints that capture the rich beauty of needlecrafts in just 1 or 2 hours. Color Point makes it easy. You make it beautiful.
Once in your lifetime comes the magic of truly great music. For the first time ever, Time Life Music brings you Piano by Candlelight. Piano by Candlelight. Lush, unforgettable music. Your favorite songs from Broadway. Award-winning Hollywood hits. Plus today's most popular melodies. Of today's most memorable and relaxing hits. More than 2 full hours of fabulous music on 3 cassettes for only $19.99 or 2 compact discs for just $24.99.
To order Piano by Candlelight, use your credit card and call 1-800-245-8596. That's 1-800-245-8596. Or send $19.99 for 3 cassettes or $24.99 for 2 compact discs, plus $4 shipping and handling, to Piano by Candlelight, P.O. Box 11066, Department 1, Chicago, Illinois 60611.
This weekend on the Learning Channel, curl up and relax in the country charm of America's favorite inns. Sample the finest in culinary splendor. Then, top the evening off with a special touch of adventure and romance, from the tranquil beauty of Ireland's waterways to China's historic Silk Road. It's an evening of fine living, Saturday nights beginning at 8 Eastern, 9 Pacific, on the Learning Channel. Brought to you by Gallo. It's time for a change to Gallo. Furniture on the Mend now returns on TLC.
Hey, newspaper.
I read that this morning.
No.
Oh, the paper race.
The paper race.
This is another very important factor.
Very important.
Did you ever try and do this? One hand, a crinkle.
I won.
I won.
Well,
I went to the store to get some sugar.
First time I won.
Okay.
Now, what's this for, Pops?
This is what you actually create the foundation with. These little nooks and crannies created by the crumpling of the paper create the actual markings of the foundation. And you'll see that in operation. It's a lot easier to see than it is to explain it. It's like trying to explain an accordion.
You're a Sagittarius, it says. It says paint today.
If I take this and just dab like that, do you see that mark?
Doesn't look like much now, I must say. But what happens next?
Color, little green.
Little green. Whoa.
Now, large brush. Here's some white.
He's gonna grain. He's gonna grain now.
I lay the graining on, you see. Now watch when instead of pulling, watch as I go forward. Look, our marbleizing is all complete. I've taken time to wash up. I spent about 2 hours on this, and you see the finished product now. And it was an experiment. All these projects are experiments. You just have to stick with it. I stayed with this for 2 hours, as I said, and as I was doing it, I said, why not make this look as though it came from one slab of marble? And that's exactly what I did. If I push these together, you can see that. I'm happy with it. I hope you're happy with it. And now we're ready to varnish. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to sand down with some 320 silicone carbide paper. Just lightly, I'm going to sand the surface. You might be able to see this little bit of pitting that's in here. And that's from dabbing with the newspaper. But that's going to go away with the application of varnish because you're going to build up layer after layer. I'm thinking maybe 2 layers on this. I'm going to put 1 on right now for you. Apply the varnish to the entire surface and then stroke off, or do the airplane, as they say. Back, back. And that's all there is to it.
Furniture on the Mend will return on TLC. Furniture on the Mend now returns on TLC.
We're coming down to the home stretch with our chaise. So far, we've
Strip the old stuff off.
put in new webbing,
Tack the bottom of the coil springs to the webbing.
tied the top of the springs to each other,
Covered the bottom with burlap.
added padding to the bottom and the inside back.
Tack the fabric to the bottom.
And now we're ready to tack our fabric to the inside back.
Got all that?
Hello there.
The inside back, and it's all its splendor. We've laid it over.
Looks nice already, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's just leave it like this. Nah, let's tack it in. We've cut the inside back, or a fabric pattern out of our fabric for the inside back, so that this row of flowers matches up with the row of flowers on the seat.
See that? One,
Isn't that
two.
nice? Symmetry is lovely, especially in nature.
Echoing.
On infinitum. So the first thing we do is we've folded that piece of fabric so we know where the center mark is and made our little V cut. And now, of course, we know where the center of the back of the chair is because it's got this big piece of wood running up right up through it. So now we're going to pull over and tack right in there. The other thing, we've decided that since this nice flower is lovely and right in the center, we're going to want it right below the top of here. I'm going to throw a tack in there.
This tack will come out, too, afterwards. We'll replace it with staples.
Oh, yes. Now it's time to make our cuts.
But first we have to measure.
Ah, yes.
Yes, so let's lift this up.
Okay.
See, exposing the cotton.
The soft underbelly.
And now this is the scissors, or the shears, I'm going to use to find that back rail.
A little to your area.
There it is.
Hear the sound of metal hitting wood?
Now, that's approximately size of the blade.
We pull this down tight, and we see
Wait a
that
minute, let's
where this will be folded under the padding that the retainer wire is pulled under, we measure out that much, that blade width.
Right, now the blade right on here. Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Right there. So we're going to cut approximately right at the
heart
of the heart of the bud.
And we know that this is our center
And
point.
this is the center point because we got this little
V.
Little snoop here of a V.
Live well and
So
prosper.
we're going to go right up that.
You don't want to cut too much. If you're worried, cut too little. Okay.
That looks good.
Now do the V.
Now we got a, well, actually, it's a Y.
It's a Y. It's a V on a Y.
And then another one here.
And don't worry about it too much because this is going to be hidden because you've got like 3 or 4 inches worth of hiding place.
Now for the side.
We have to make those same cuts to go around the braces that are here and here.
So we're going to angle the fabric just a touch.
No. Move this fabric this way.
Got it?
Yeah. Okay. Did you find the depth?
Yeah, the depth is the same.
Where?
Right here. Move your
Right
finger.
there.
Move your finger.
So we cut right to there.
Right. Keep your finger there.
I will. Shredded fabric on a field of burlap so you can see it better. Now here's our center cut. Remember, we made that cut to pull through.
Around the middle brace.
And then 2 cuts outboard of that to pull through the side. We've made 2 extra cuts here.
Why?
And here. Why? These are called release cuts. When we pulled the center ones through, we realized that there was too much tension right in here. We saw a wrinkle that was just not going to come out no matter how much we pulled.
We couldn't get that whole piece of fabric through there without making that cut.
So we had to release that tension by cutting up right here, right where that fabric was wrinkling, right where it was falling, that we couldn't get the wrinkle out no matter how much we pulled. Hence the name release cuts. So it releases the tension, and now, because of all the pent-up tension out there, we are going to pull through and begin to tack.
So I will maneuver down here to the waistland, and
I'll start stuffing through. This goes on this side.
I got this piece.
This goes on that side.
I got this piece.
And then this goes over here.
This coming this. This is that release cut that we made right here for around the arm.
All right, now what we have to do is pull that arm around.
I'm pulling. I'm here.
And
See?
tacking into the bottom.
Now, just hold on. I'm going to put this little tack right in here. Just a little bit, and now to the top. Don't worry about this flap.
What's that for?
It's an air flap. No, we're going to take care of this after.
So when we throw this out of a plane later, it'll glide.
Right. I'm pulling a little bit this way and down. And, oh, baby.
And I'm going to tap right into the frame there.
Pull.
A word about wrinkles.
Wrinkles. Wrinklage.
Wrinkles. When you've got wrinkles running vertically, the step is to pull sideways. That means you have to even it out sideways. If you've got wrinkles running horizontally, you got to pull vertically. All right, you got that?
Makes sense.
You got a quick fix tip for me? All right, now I'm going to move to the back. I've pulled this fabric strip down. Now, Joe, you're going to keep watching at the front.
I'm watching.
And make sure that
I wouldn't miss being here.
Am I getting rid of some wrinkles in this quadrant here?
Pull.
Sector R, as we call it. Pull. Now, I'm pulling here.
Well, this wrinkle here is going to have to be pulled this way. See, like that.
Yeah, but later, we're going to loosen this top and pull it that way. We're also going to pull at the front of the arm.
That's right.
As I said, trial and error. Now, what I want you to do is pat this down towards the bottom.
I'm patting.
Good, good. How's that look? A little better?
Yeah.
And our bottom looks very nice. Now we have to release the top. Hey, now I'm going to pull out this.
Take those tacks out.
These tacks, because I'm going to replace them with the staples.
This will enable us to pull tighter.
On the top. Need I say it one more time? Center first. Yeah, pat up.
Looks good.
Word up and pat up. Oh, and I'm also pulling my padding so it ends right at the edge of the top. No, not overlapped for a bump, but not too far in for the feeling of wood against your neck. You don't want that either.
That's enough.
Okay, all right.
Ballast.
You must always remember to fasten thy staple gun to thy cord. I'm going to take it right over to the first piece of wood. All right, I'm just going to reach under there and make sure my padding is all the way up to the edge. So when I pull it, it's right where I wish it to be. And remember, when you tack, pull from right under where you're going to staple. Don't pull here and staple there. Pull on a direct line down. All right, now it's time to trim the front and fold over and tack and pull tight. I fold this up and I tack about a ½ inch to an inch up above here. Now, because I want to get an even amount of padding all the way down to the seat, I'm going to take a little bit of cotton.
A little bit of cotton.
A little bit of cotton. and just stuff it in there. Now when I roll, and I will roll, I pull my tack out.
What kind of tool is that? That's a nip.
Oh, it's a nip. I wish I was having one right now. And now I pull around and I begin to tack. We're going to again pat towards the front and pull around and tack. Now look at this. This is tension.
The tension.
I must release the tension with a tension cut. If I insult anybody,
It's enough.
start your tension cuts simple like this, and if you got to go a little more, go a little more. All right, I'm gonna pull my tension.
Hey, that looks good.
Hey, it looks excellent.
Looks like a knee. From here.
I pull it down like this. Make sure my padding is lapping. My lapping is padding. Ballast, please.
I'm ballasting.
How does it look?
Nice.
Tell me when it doesn't look good, because...
Got a little wrinkle here.
Okay.
I have to pull that tighter.
That means I pull the last tack out.
Right, now pull. Ah, like that. Ah.
Looks good.
There you go. Now a little tighter. Pull it tight, pull it tight, pull it tight, pull it tight. There, now you got. There it goes. Tight, tight, tight. Like that. You need a fourth hand.
And one less mouth.
You should talk.
How is it?
It's fine. Pull it tight. Pull it tight here. There. Now you got it. Now you got it.
Our inside back is on. Look, we have unsightly large flanges of fabric here. What do? We trim them off, of course. Now with the top pieces, I'm going to trim off with the shears. I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to trim off really closely to the staples. I'm also going to trim off the bottom pieces. Remember these strips that we pulled through for our seat material? We don't want those hanging, and I'm going to trim that off close to the staples, too. Now remember, that trim has to be razored off. Why?
I'm using a utility knife razor. You can, because they're very sharp.
Because that little groove that he's trimming the fabric away from is going to be covered by some decorative cloth trim to finish it off really nicely. So that has to be a very careful...
And also to hide the staples.
Of course.
Right.
Our inside back is done. We did it. Next week, the last major fabric panels to be attached.
And?
The outside back.
Also?
And
we'll see you then. Marcel Marceau, the
butterfly.
The butterfly. On the windshield. That's it for this week.
Until next week, I'm Ed Feldman.
And I'm Joe Lorario.
And as always, be nice to your furniture.
Joe and Ed's marbleizing project comes to life with a bit of sanding and buffing. Next, as Furniture on the Mend continues on TLC.